r/confessions. Sit back, relax and enjoy this video. I hate my sister. This is a repost, since I figured this was a better sub. This is a bit long, so pardon. The important facts to get out of the way immediately are these. My sister is black. I'm white. We were adopted at birth by a white woman. I have a brother a year older than me that is black, and a 17-year-old brother that's Hispanic. We're a mixed household through and through. My sister is complicatedly physically handicapped, nearly to the point of non-function. She's got some obscure and rare disease that I don't know the name of that fills her arm joints with bone, and as such can't bend her elbows, has short arm hand bones, and weak borderline useless muscle mass. She also has this condition in her hips legs but in the opposite, where her hip joints have too large caps for her joints. I'm going to be 26 this year, and my sister is going to be 21. On to the story, now. There are so many reasons I hate my sister. Because of her disability, she's the most entitled bitch I've ever met. To an extent, I understand that her needs should be catered to. The kind of issues she deals with are very much life-threatening and life-changing. She cannot wipe herself properly because she simply can't reach, as her arms are about 6 inches too short and locked at the elbow. I know. She's massively physically disabled and I shouldn't be ragging on her because that's mean. Whatever. My sister and I hate each other, and always have. To preface this, I had a lot of mental shit going on during puberty, and I was pretty emotional and could get violent. When I was 13 and going through all my mental crap, I literally couldn't control myself. I started taking meds when I was 12, but as anyone can expect, it took me a long time to find a combination that worked. As a result, I am told all the time that I terrorized my household, but I really don't remember much. I was in and out of intense outpatient, and around 16, I finally found a therapist and a med combination that worked for me. To be honest, when I think back on that time, the only incident I can recall is when I threw a brush at my brother, 9, maybe, at the time, and clocked him in the side. I broke a lot of stuff, cut myself often, was diagnosed with bipolar depression and had incredibly manic episodes in which I would flip between intense rage and hatred and suicidal depression. Even my psychologist at the time said I was in bad shape, and he'd been practicing a long time. All this being said, safe to say my sister and I got to the point that we avoided each other. I hate her and she hates me. It's always been that way, and the closest we've gotten to physical confrontation until about a year ago was making intentionally hurtful comments about each other. As mentioned above, my sister is black entirely. I am white. As a result of her physical disability, her mentality is very skewed. She never went to school, and all her life, her friends have been people online that she eventually falls out with. My sister got her first smartphone at age 8, and I got my first phone, a BlackBerry, at 16. Her only way to interact with people came from meeting them online, talking, video chat, etc., and they were usually older than her by a good few years. My sister is the most racist person I've ever come into contact with. She's racist against anyone whites, blacks, Asians, everyone. Now, you may be wondering how she's racist against her own race, being African American, but I, personally, count stereotyping as racism. She believes any black person that's not a ghetto rat to not really be black, and having lighter skin despite being whatever genealogy mix of African American ancestry also means that person isn't really black. My sister is also incredibly skewed in terms of her sexuality. She's a lesbian, she's a stud, she's not a lesbian, she's gay, because being gay and being lesbian are different, I guess. She has a different variation of sexuality depending on who she's talking to. I'm not saying her sexual orientation in itself is bad, whatever it may be, but she lies about it to the point that I don't even understand it anymore. This being said, she's never once claimed to be straight. This is important. I have a daughter. I was in an abusive first relationship and got pregnant at 18. I am literally the definition of that textbook teen parent they make us read in high school. I was not ready to have a baby, and my life has been getting worse and worse because of it. My mom basically raises my daughter, and I work way too much to be healthy. I contribute a majority of the money in the house, so my mom and I have gotten to this impasse where I pay and she raises. It's like a fricked up version of child support. My daughter is more like my sister, which I never thought would happen when I was pregnant when she was a tiny baby. It causes me a lot of pain that things worked out this way. My sister got pregnant when she was 17, gave birth at 18. Her son is now 2, and it's been so indescribable and not in a good way. She never tried to pass it off as something it wasn't. She openly admitted to getting pregnant on purpose. Whatever. She wants to be miserable, she can. Here's where the issues I have with being compared to her come in. To an extent, my pregnancy was unplanned and a mistake, and, at the time, I was not a willing participant. My ex didn't want to use condoms, and I was young and dumb and thought we'd be in love forever. With my sister, this isn't the case. She doesn't even know the guy's last name. She found him on the internet and used him specifically to get pregnant. Dude himself has a multitude of mental health issues, but that's a whole other thing. Keep in mind that my sister has debilitating physical disabilities and has no business giving birth. It legitimately almost killed her, and her son has physical complications due to being birthed. He came out face first, not crowning like a normal baby. Literally nose first. When he was born, my sister said he wasn't black enough and she should try again for a blacker baby. He's such a sweet boy, now coming up on 3 this year, but she can't control him. He's a toddler, so take that however you will. He bites people hard because he gets laughs and encouragement, but when he bites her and she doesn't like it, she hits him. He eats like shit candy, processed foods, no milk, no dairy of any kind, but mac and cheese is okay and ice cream is okay. My sister makes up allergies, so things like bananas and apple skins, because she just can't peel either. This 3-year-old is very chubby, to the point of concern. Within 4 months of having my nephew, my sister was pregnant again. She intentionally got pregnant a second time, although for a different reason, I believe, at least. She was supposed to have surgery on her arms to hollow out her joints, so she could actually use her arms. This time, though, she didn't tell anyone until she was in labor. My sister is on the verge of 400 pounds, so no one really noticed she was pregnant. My sister died giving birth to her second child, a girl. She never went to the doctors for her, so no one ever knew this baby was way too far up. My sister attempted to give birth naturally, but the baby was stuck pushing her diaphragm up into her ribs and crowding her heart. She had an emergency C-section and is alive, but honestly, I wished at the time, and I still do, that she died. She calls both her children Witties because they're fairly light-skinned. She can't change diapers easily, so she just waits until they fall off from the weight. My niece has been afraid to poop her entire short life. She's 2 in Jan, because all my sister feeds her is junk food and soy milk. My niece had such bad thrush that she had to be hospitalized, and my sister never follows through with medications, so illnesses never go away. I hate that because I was a teen mom and my sister is a teen mom. We get lumped together. My sister is that black person that makes other black people ashamed. I've literally been approached by people in public about this, because she's just such trash and so disgusting. My sister's highest desire in life is to be that black person on disability, living in the projects, talking about the struggle, when the only struggles she has she created for herself. She's the kind of person that yells because she wants everyone to hear her, and she's so proud of being a ghetto rat because that's how black people are supposed to be. I'm all for people on hard times or who live below the poverty line. I do, but she's beyond that. My sister is the kind of person that believes in black parenting and white parenting, not good bad parenting. I was compared to all this, and I get so freaking apoplectic when I think about it. I am trying. Firstly, I didn't make the same mistake twice. I didn't have more than 1 kid when the first one was such a freaking disaster, thinking it'll be different the next time around. I have a job that I can advance in, make a career out of, and hopefully make a life with. I'm also not racist because that's just an awful thing to judge someone on. Oh, you survived. Now sub. Please.